lying in court.
Son. Jake! 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 Me and your mum are gonna follow, okay? Excuse me, you were at our house, weren't you?
Yeah.
And can you tell me when we can see my son?
Not long, Mr. Miller, all right.
Don't feel scared to get really close to it as well.
The other bloke is much more easy.
Okay.
Him checking whether to stand was much easier. Whether I understand what I did.
It's crazy what your brain tells you to do when you're a kid. Jamie Miller, I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense if you do not mention one
Dad, I
question,
haven't done
something
anything.
which you later...
We've got to survive this.
What if we can't?
Yeah, D.I. Bascom, one in custody.
Okay.
Inside, please.
Ready to go, over.
Bravo Delta 50 to Bravo Delta 60. Are you ready to roll up?
Yeah, ready.
Receive. Let's go, Joe. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see a swan glide gracefully across the water, but its legs are flapping like mad. And that is basically what each one of these episodes are.
Yeah, let's make the call. With Adolescence being a single shot format, it all runs very differently to normal. It took a few weeks to really understand that it was only one camera moving through space, that there was no cuts, and that whatever was shot is the episode.
I have a warrant to search your premises, sir. Where's your son? Where's your son?
He's in his bedroom. What do you need me for?
Where is he? You kind of feel like you're in a theatre space more than a TV space. Once the train starts moving, no one can stop it. Do you know what I mean? Mr. Miller, I will arrest you for obstruction. Please stop. Please.
What do you need me for?
I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. Do you understand?
Dad, I haven't done anything.
Hey.
Adolescence is not a whodunit, it's a whodunit. How did this boy end up in this place?
Your son, he's been arrested on suspicion of murder.
And this started with a phone call from Stephen saying, how do we tell that story in 4 one-hour shots?
I always wanted to tell a tale over a long time span. but not do it the way normal chronological stories work.
Jay, don't say nothing.
That was the idea of spanning it across 13 months, but dipping in and out.
And so we quickly worked out we're going to do the arrest, we're going to do school, then we're going to spend some time with Jamie, and then we're going to spend some time with the family.
Episode 1 is looking at a particular situation and trying to be as impartial as possible.
Excuse me. Can you tell me when we can see my son?
Not long, Mr. Miller, all right.
It could happen to anybody, you know what I mean? We thought it would be interesting to shine a light on the devastation that causes, you know, the ripple effect that has on everybody.
Did you do it?
It's going to touch a nerve with a lot of different people, and it's important for us to represent in the right way and be accurate.
He's a good kid.
This wasn't about othering Jamie. Don't put this in the extraordinary. Make this feel like it could happen to you, because that is the reality of what is happening in our world.
I'll be by your side all the way through it. All right? Okay.
We wanted the audience to be thinking, there's no way he's done this. This kid couldn't do that. So for him to see this act committed by his boy, he's poleaxed, and his life from that moment on will never be the same again.
What have you done?
Episode 2 should be something that makes people think, sparks debate, and opens the door for other directors, writers to feel that they can show the harsher sides of reality beautifully.
Oi! Ryan! What have you done?
This show is about windows, right? You get 4 different windows into Jamie's world. But it was working out where the windows were best placed so that we could understand him.
Episode 2 is kind of like piecing it together within the school and seeing how kind of social media can affect our children these days.
What's up?
It's not going well because you're not getting it.
What am I not getting?
You're not reading what they're doing. What's happening?
What are you talking about?
The theme of the show is reality. The youngsters don't live in a blinkered world where they don't know that these things happen.
Look, man, these kids are fucking impossible. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
There's 300 kids, as well as all of the teachers, all the chaperones that are being led around by lots of dressed-in ADs.
So it's got to be really meticulously planned out.
You're going to get instructions from the cast teachers to get back in line. Do not listen to them.
What have you done?
We have 3 weeks for one episode, right? So our first week is spent literally walking through scene by scene.
Shall we pop inside?
We're going to be going through it a lot, over and over again. Then it becomes muscle memory, you know? Then we do the tech rehearsal with all the crew.
That week, you know, we put a lens on it, we start moving through the space, we start realising what doesn't work, kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back a little bit.
It's good that they happen now. It's just rehearsals. And look, we're all doing it without our script already anyway.
And then the last week, we get 10 chances, 2 a day at shooting 1 take.
Jane, this is a huge loss, love. We'll arrange for somebody for you to have a chat.
Not another shrink.
No, it's not a shrink. It's just
No, fuck that.
Please, Jane.
So you're serious?
No, you can't go back to class. You know you can't.
When I first read the script, it blew my mind. Like, it felt like I just knew all these characters and I could visualise the whole thing.
Let's have a word with Ryan.
The collaboration on this show, a lot of it was technical, but the surprising thing was using technical to free us.
Action!
I'd written in this chase sequence, and this chase sequence took Bascom and this boy beside the murder site, and then the camera was going to travel back on its own back to the school.
That moment would have felt almost like a video game walking down the street. I think it would just take the audience away from what the piece is.
And then Phil called me up and he said, Matt and I think we found a way to make the camera fly.
If the camera could float away by itself, then it couldn't possibly be attached to a person. It kind of feels more ethereal.
So you've got Bascom finding his own sort of resolution, and you're with this character Jade, whose heart is pulled out, and you're with all these kids as they pull out their phones, and then the camera takes off, and the camera comes to the rest of the murder site. It was an example of the technical meeting the story and finding a fusion which is actually better than anything that the story had come up with on its own.
What Jack Thorne is so brilliant at is being so brutal and so human. That's the crux of this episode, and probably the whole series, is how interesting it is what people present versus what's within.
I always wanted episode 3 to be a wonderful two-hander. It's a Jack Thorne beautiful masterpiece.
Hi, Jamie.
Go, go, go.
It was nerve-wracking reading episode 3 and then realising, oh, we need to cast a 13-year-old lad who can really, like, go on a journey emotionally.
Who looks extremely innocent and looks like a vulnerable, afraid young boy.
We haven't finished.
Because of schedule needs, we had to start with episode 3, which I was very nervous about, because that's an hour-long script for a young actor to learn, acting opposite Erin Doherty.
Do it quick, more lad.
That rehearsal week, you're constantly asking yourself, can he get there?
As soon as you lose that eye contact, all the power's gone. You'll be giving him notes and he's just looking at you like that look. He's giving you that look and I'm like, is he listening to me?
Look out! Fucking wanna sit down! You do not tell me when to sit down! Get that in that fucking little head of yours!
And then he'll go and do a take. Every single note will be nailed.
It was a combination of 2 voices in the room for him. It was Phil, who's so gentle, and it was Erin.
I need you to sit down. Just so well written that it kind of requires you to just be there. We're just surrendering to the script and each other.
Something happened between the 2 of them, and it just took Owen into another place and took Jamie into another place. And actually, it was the best start we could have made for him.
That night, I didn't touch her. I could have touched her, but I didn't. I had a knife. She was scared, but I didn't do that. I could have touched any part of her body I wanted to. I really wanted to, but I didn't. Most boys would have touched her. What's so heartbreaking for Bryony at the end, you witness her have to let go of everything she's wanted this boy to be. What did you think about me then? Okay. And all these thoughts kind of come into her mind, and it's kind of symbolised through this sandwich. The person that she was when she entered the room, who was making the offer, to then the person who won't even touch it. It's just such a great thing to play.
Come in here. Oh no.
We always see the perspective of the victim's family, which is rightly so. Do you know what I mean? Of course we should. And with episode 4, I wanted to have a look at the impact it has upon the family of the boy who has committed the act.
All right, nuns. Hey! Hey! All right, nuns. Did you see that to my phone? Did you?
This started with a phone call from Stephen. He introduced me to Phil. We 3 started talking about what we went through as young men. And then I said to Stephen, what about us writing it together?
Right, here you go.
I always wanted to tell a tale over a long time span, but not do it the way normal chronological stories work.
That was the idea of spanning it across 13 months, but dipping in and out.
And so we quickly worked out, okay, we're going to do the arrest, we're going to do school, then we're going to spend some time with Jamie, and then we're going to spend some time with the family.
How do they move forwards, and will they always have this hanging over them?
Stay away from my family!
It was really important to Stephen that this wasn't a show that made easy answers. The one thing he said to me right at the beginning was, we can't blame the parents.
I didn't want Jamie to come from a background where his mum was a drinker, or his dad was violent and aggressive. I wanted to eliminate all of those things, to try and get the audience to ask the question, why? But also, in the same respect, think, that could be me. That could be my child.
I wish he'd have picked you. You'd have done better.
No.
Yeah, you would. You'd have done better.
Stephen's performances are real. He opens up his heart for people to see. He knows exactly what he wants.
That was fantastic. I love working with him. He's just incredible. He's passionate.
Stephen is an instinctive leader. He's someone that just you kind of flock to. There was a feeling of a gang on this show. Everyone was excited about what we were doing.
Ready? Ready. Gonna do a take. Let's go.
Before each take, my heart is pounding and absolutely everyone feels it because everyone knows how important their job is.
Action.
It takes a real army of people to put together, you know, because there's not one person on that set who's not important. Because without every single person, it could all collapse.
Watching it come to life, watching the decisions that Matt and Phil made as they were telling the story through the camera, it was really thrilling.
I think if anything can force us to look at a subject that we don't want to look at, it's a one shot, because you really are forced to watch it. There's no break from it.
The fact is we are dealing with the harsh reality of what is going on, and I hope it does make people stand up and think about what they're doing or what they're not doing.
Do you like me?
You don't know what's going on behind closed doors with anyone, ever. No one is just evil. No one is just all bad. It's just so much more complex.
What's gone wrong?
We're not trying to give answers. We're not trying to lay blame particularly. It's a really complicated time, but we need to be talking about these things.
I'm sorry, son. I just hope it creates debate, and I hope it creates conversation between parent and child.
Look, it was basically just to say thank you all very much for a marvellous week. It's been amazing. This has been an absolute dream to do. Each and every one of you have been fantastic. I think we've had an amazing experience. Yeah. Personally, it's one of the finest things I've ever been a part of. I've loved it, honest to God, and each and every one of you have all been team players. It's such a unique experience, and I promise you, I'm not just saying it, but you don't get many chances like this, do you know what I mean? And it's just been a pure joy to be a part of, and I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for helping make this possible. You have all been integral, whether you may feel it's a small part or it doesn't matter. Each and every one of you have been magnificent. We are so grateful for all of you.